Hello everybody, how are you all doing? I guess you had a wonderful Christmas festivities all around you, and this time around it's over. We're in the new year, and I wish you a biggest happy new year. Don't forget, I'll still come after my chicken. Anyway, today on the show, guess what? Hey, this is a woman. This is not just a woman, but a virtuous woman. A woman who's well trained, groomed from home, right from her youth, and she has maintained her status. And this woman is a professional trained educationist, an entrepreneur, headmistress of GRACELAND International School. And like I said, this woman, words can't describe what she had to say herself. But if you want to see this new year coming in a grand style, I want you to get glued to your sets. We'll be right back.
Are you a musician, church, band, school, or an audio engineer looking for professional audio equipment for your work? Don't worry. KFM Music Center has all the equipment and instruments you need. We have from drums, keyboards, combos, guitars, microphones, PA systems, brass instruments, studio equipment, lighting systems, among others. We import all kinds of electronics and musical instruments from top brands such as American GLS, Behringer, Sabian, Yoga, M Audio, Nutric, Tama, among others. You can locate KFM Music Center at Zongo Lane between the Benjilo Building and the Children's Hospital. You can contact us on the numbers displayed on your screen. KFM Music Center, where quality costs less.
Drop drink, challenge for try this. Yep, and one. Drop juice drink. Today we go party, yeah. Where my guests day, we go party, yeah. Where my people day, we go party, yeah. Me pay drop fruit juice, na mano. Drop drinks, it was super martini, so. Drop drinks, me say one no swa when it beji. Drop drinks,
peach, banana, orange, grape, aloe vera.
Today we go party, yeah. Where my guests day, we go party, yeah. Where my people day, we go party.
Drop. I'm dropping stress.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to the only show, and today, like I said, this woman, I don't want to say much. I think she's here in person to tell us, because a lot of people look up to her and say, I wish I'm like her. I wish I'm glued to her. I wish I can get to know her that much. People want to come along. People want to get acquainted with her, but they don't know how. Today she's here by herself to tell us who she is. Mrs. Noble Stella N.A. Dartey. You're welcome to Personality Profile.
Thank you so much.
You look charming, and Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
Wow. I guess I had to look for the one who designed this to do something for a friend of mine, because you look just stunning, just sweet. People probably would say, who is Mrs. Noble Stella N.A. Dartey? And somebody will describe her as the cool woman, but very vibrant behind the scenes, a lovely woman, but very outspoken, a woman with few words, but power-packed. So tell us, who is Noble Mrs. Stella N.A. Dartey?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you this morning.
Wow.
Mrs. Stella Noble Dartey is a Ghanaian
Wow.
and a Christian
Wow.
and born in the late 50s.
You don't mean it.
Yes.
Wow. I was just imagining 45, 42, 40, 39 young women sitting right in front of me. My goodness, you were blessed.
Yes, and that's just the grace.
Wow.
Yes, I started as a young child, nurtured by my parents, grew consistently, and till I reached school-going age.
Wow.
I attended Prince of Peace International School off the Ogle Road. I completed and had my secondary education at Okwapeman
Wow.
Senior High School.
That's a good school.
Yes. After a while, I had to join my mom, understudy her. By then, she was an educationist.
Okay.
So I was just understanding how she was going about her things. So after school, that is the tertiary, the secondary, I had to go on to the training college. So I had the opportunity to attend Holy Child Training College at Secondary Takoradi.
Wow.
And there I became a trained teacher.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I taught for many years. Schools that I taught were my own alma mater, Prince of Peace International School, for a while, before joining the government school to teach there for many years, about 20 years there.
Wow.
So yes.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
So later on, I decided to upgrade myself. I rose through the rank within the Ghana Education Service from teacher up to an assistant director of education.
Wow.
Yes, before I decided to go to the tertiary institution.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. Now, from this background you've given me, how was like growing up for you? Were you pampered? Were you in a home that everything is available? You don't stress. You know, people go through a process like that, and at the end of the day, they end up being on the street or being somewhere, go through some hustle before bouncing back to the mainstream line. But how was home like? Because normally to have lovely grounds like this to shoot up suddenly, to be on a top notch, it doesn't come on a silver platter. But unless there's this wonderful hand that is holding you up like this. So did you make it on your own, or you struggle up, or parents were there to give you that boost?
Actually, I'll say that my mom was there for us as an educationist.
Wow.
She never let us go wanting in any form, because training us was like a gift to her.
Wow.
And since she's been seeing other children go through her hands to achieve their aims and objectives, she also made it possible that we also grow in a particular direction. So our schooling, she made sure that everything was okay for us and with us. And through that, actually, I started moving on just to improve on what status she really wanted us to, pass through.
Amidst of all that, is it a desire to become an educationist, or somewhere along the line you decided to, okay, since my mother is tailored through that line, let me follow her trend? Or inwardly, do you have any desire to become something different apart from following your mother's trend?
Actually, I had a passion for teaching.
Okay.
I really love teaching. Why? Because I would say that I was like introduced to classroom atmosphere by observing my mom whilst in the classroom. So there and then, I can say that whilst I was in secondary form 3, I had an opportunity to go into the classroom to teach. That was in 1975.
How was the first experience like?
Well, I saw it to be normal because
first experience?
my first experience, I didn't see any challenge because I know my mom, I know what she does because we've observed her for a period of time. After closing from school, we go there. So it wasn't like any stressful time for me. And during this period, that was when we had the mass exodus of teachers, trained teachers, traveling outside the country to seek greener pastures. So they needed pupil teachers. So I had an opportunity to also go there and assist where necessary. It wasn't a tedious thing, but just an introductory aspect of teaching. It wasn't too detailed enough. But where I could fit in, that was where I was given that nod. Yes.
During this period, now over the years, you've been with education, you've seen the inside out of how education is run in this country. Now, comparing private school and that of the government, is there any vast gap or the same thing, but just that because it's private, it's been named private, or just because somebody has money and has put up a structure to say, I want to teach some little kids? Is there any difference? Because somebody will say, it's the same old thing. It's the same old thing. For instance, you go to a government school, you have about 50 kids in one classroom. And yet you get presidents out of it, you get ministers out of it. And you come to the private school, you have about a huge class, but you have about, let's say, 15 to 20 people. Sometimes not even up to 20. What's the difference like?
Yes, when I look back at the government schools, the government school is owned by the government.
Wow.
And looking at the infrastructure, it's different. When you look at the private school, it is owned by an individual or a group of people who might have come together to establish a school within a particular community. Government schools have their unique purpose. They have their own role and being supported by the government. Now, the private school is being funded solely by the founder. Now, looking at the population of children in the government school is huge because it is open to all. So all children from all walks of life can go there, depending on the choice of the parents. Now, with the private schools, when you get there, you see the school is there, well structured. They have all the facilities that, let me say, the state of the art, whatever facilities. You see parents who have a choice in making decision, sending their wards there for one reason or the other. Now, I will not hesitate to say that many of the government schools would say that they have 100% trained teachers that is funded by the government. Now, when it comes to the private sector, you could see they have the trained teachers, but I can give them about 80-85% of trained teachers there. Now, the rest may come from those who may have their master's degree, they may have their, let's say, ordinary degrees. It varies. Yes. And it depends on what the person is up to and what the person can do. And that is where you can fit the person. But with the government side, you get all the trained teachers who come in there specifically to handle specific subjects. So they are well vexed as well. notwithstanding the private schools, they also have the trained teachers who run the affairs. But in a nutshell, I'll say that both run the same curriculum.
Wow.
They run the same curriculum. So whatever curriculum is designed for a school-going child in Ghana runs across all schools in the country, except those who wanted to have an extension of a curricula that they may go forward to introduce the system into their private schools.
If I may ask, when you first, as a private school owner, I believe everybody would love to put up something and make society very comfortable, so that everybody would like to, you know, come on board and say, look, I love to live here, I love to live here, I love to live here. Now, when you first heard that there's free SHS, I know something will come up. Whoa, it looks like our business is about to shift attention. How was it like for you?
Well, for me, I will say that I embraced it at the first instance. Why? Because the president of Ghana did mention this during our anniversary at Upapma Senior High School, for which I was part of that particular program.
Wow.
So when it was mentioned, actually it was new in the system. I embraced it because many of the children that we handle in all the schools across board, we have very brilliant but needy students. Some of them are very, very good that could go to a highly paid institution, but due to their background, they do not have that support.
Hold it right there for me.
Thank
Due
you.
to their background, they don't have that support. I want you to get glued to your set. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Are you a musician, church, band, school, or an audio engineer looking for professional audio equipment for your work? Don't worry. KFM Music Center has all the equipment and instruments you need. We have from drums, keyboards, combos, guitars, microphones, PA systems, brass instruments, studio equipment, lighting systems, among others. We import all kinds of electronics and musical instruments from top brands such as American GLS, Behringer, Sabian, Yoga, M Audio, Nutric, Tama, among others. You can locate KFM Music Center at Zongo Lane between the Benjilo Building and the Children's Hospital. You can contact us on the numbers displayed on your screen. KFM Music Center, where quality costs less.
Bafana kama sama mami, Bafana di masama mami, Bafana tumi nyariwa, na mami sisi mwaye, diu sisi ya uya, Bafana eba mischa nunumbie, wana ya, Bafana eba kapso, sasa brena maya ume, Bafana eba mischa bejimie, untini maya mere, Babosu wa bubu wa abiye, duro mujata, Bafana eba kapso, unum kapsos na unum mischa, Bafana eba manu fuono yo, opin fuoso nom, Bafana eba mischa, enu ochi obiye tuminum, Bafana eba kapso, na bubo biye, Bafana eba mischa, bubo biye. Ubenya Bafana mischa ne capsules o man mu ba biye tonu pa bia. Kai se adru enyam mamofra woni mfie dumienu, e ma pinfo, e na obatan a o ma ne ba nofo. Bafana ugidi aje wo nkwa.
Welcome back to the only show, the show that compels you to think out of the box so you can become a generational thinker. As a matter of fact, if you're not thinking properly this year, you're not going nowhere, because this year the base is broad and we demand that you think out of the box. And KFM TV is where you get this. You can get it anywhere. Get glue. See, one more time, Mrs. Noble Stella N.A. Dartey, the lovely woman with a soft-spoken attitude, but behind the scenes, she's like a roaring lion who does things when people least expect. Mrs., you were saying, you're talking about the free SHS that came on the bill, and people, I heard people saying that, oh, this thing is coming to collapse our private business. This thing is coming to make us run low, so we have to lay off some teachers and all of that. But you said you embraced it. Is it that there was a connection between our president during your time at your school that made you embrace it, or because you foresaw the future coming so big and like, look, this is an opportunity, let me grab it?
Thank you. Looking at the free SHS program, I would say that I've been in the educational sector for a while.
Wow.
There has been reforms. Now, I look at it from a different perspective altogether.
Wow.
Why I'm saying this is that looking at the children that we handle in our respective schools, in schools that I have taught before, we had children that had peculiar capabilities and potentials.
Wow.
And these children need assistance, but they need to unleash whatever potential that they have in them.
Yeah.
But it goes a long way to come out to pick them one after the other. Some of them do not have the opportunity to further their education after the basic education level, and therefore they fall by the roadside, doing things against their wish in order to make ends meet for them. But now, due to frequent reforms, it looks and studies the upbringing of children, what the children have in them, and how to build on their capabilities and their potentials. So that's why I'm saying that I am embracing it from that level, that it can encourage every school-going child to have access to enter into education or into school, if I may come by that. Now, it's not anything that private schools should panic about. I trust and believe that if you know where you stand in education and the vision that you have and the level of training that you want to give to your children, you will never fear any reform that comes into the system. Rather, you will encourage it to be enforced, for you to also tap into whatever the government initiative is, so that you can also have a level of change, probably in your strategy, in your plan, in your vision, as to how to carry your school above.
This also, if I may ask, does government in line of subversion where education is being enjoyed by others, does he, one way or the other, help the private school, or it rather takes from them? Do they enjoy the fringe benefits that the government brings along?
Yes, well, I would say that it will be a 50-50 opportunity. Right now, I would say that many of the needy children that I spoke earlier about are people that will need to further their education in a way and will need support. Here is a situation by these pupils had the opportunity to come to your school. Here you assist them after their basic education. I, as a head, I continue to assist some of them, especially the very brilliant ones. So
from
coming
your own
out,
coffers?
yes, from my own coffers. And I've had the opportunity to do that for a couple of my students out there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, we're told that along the line with your business, running school, you also, you're an entrepreneur. How do you match the two? Because being an entrepreneur means that you need time to think, to read, to study, to put structures in place whereby you can meet other needs also by helping others become better. So how do you match the two?
Well, I would say that it's not so easy. But then, if you know what lies before you and you have the strength from God, you'll make sure that you work accordingly. But you don't just enter into maybe a venture without studying yourself as an individual to know your strength. First of all, you have to bring in your SWOT analysis, your strength, your weaknesses, opportunities, etc. Now, that will determine how far you can go in another venture. The school is there, it needs time because you have to be there by the beginning of the day. And you have to see to it that you will be there by the close of the day as well. Now, combining both was like an adventure.
Wow, for you?
For me.
Wow.
So I knew I had that gift of becoming a very, very good cook. Therefore, I decided upon so many options to go in for a restaurant business.
Okay.
I happen to be the CEO of Spoon's Restaurant at Dartey near Bishop Bauer School.
Wow. Is it still running?
No, that is where the little challenge came in because I had to devote much time for the school. Because the school was the vision of my late mom.
Okay.
And while she was aging, she had to call me in. Being a trained teacher, a professional in the field, to handle it from that position.
Wow.
So quickly, I had to be, downplaying what goes on at the restaurant for a while before I entered fully into running of GRACELAND and managing GRACELAND School. So I do everything possible in order to run the education very well for the little ones that I feel they need the foundation to grow. It's not only the foundation, becoming very useful citizen into the country in which we have. Because day in and day out, we are all aging.
Sure.
And we need strong people
To take over.
To take over.
Awesome.
So I will let go the little that I have for the restaurant business in order to grow the passion that I had for the teaching, field.
Wow, that's awesome. As a family woman, you're not doing all these things alone, but you made it known to us that the school was founded by your biological mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how do you handle home affairs? When I mean home affairs, because you're a married woman with children, your husband will need an attention. The kids will need an attention. There should be that family bond. And today you're there, tomorrow you are there, tomorrow you are this, today you are that. How does your husband handle this when things like these come before him on his desk? Does he take it in a hard way? Does he support what you're doing? Or there's a bit of murmuring? And how's the love thing running along with all that you're doing? Because it's not easy to do such a thing with that kind of broad ideas. Is it part, or he steps aside and it's just fueling ideas, or is part of you doing this thing?
Well, I would say that first of all, looking at the environment in which we find ourselves, you see the whole place to be quite conducive. It's homely, it's welcoming.
Yes, it's welcoming.
Yes.
Very, very.
Thank you. Lift the chair up. Yeah. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, maybe happy returns. Yes, it is quite welcoming, which tells you more about how the living situation has been.
Wow.
I have support from my husband, from my siblings, as well as my children.
How many siblings do you have?
We are 4 in all.
Wow.
Yes, 4 in all.
Wow.
2 ladies coming first, then 2 men after us.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you, by any chance, had a bit of education outside this country, or everything was down here, or you probably go for holidays and something like that? Because somebody will refer to you. So this woman, maybe she has made her money somewhere and she has just come to build and just to live luxuriously. How is it like?
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm a made in Ghana product.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes, made in Ghana product.
Fully made in Ghana.
Made in Ghana.
No
product.
mixed breed thing here.
Nothing at all.
So
like
tell
that.
us, how were you made?
Yes, like I said, I had my education here in Ghana.
Exactly.
Born and bred here in Ghana. I seized the opportunity of the environment in which I find myself to upgrade myself.
Wow.
And I'm always blessed with this wisdom, gift, and the eye to see beyond. Therefore, in all things that I do, it is not by my might, but it is God.
Yes.
So
like
I
that.
seek the face of God first.
Before you make any step.
I make any other step. So in all things that I do, I just study what goes on around me and push myself in it. I don't just get up to say that, okay, this is what someone is doing, therefore I would also like to do the same thing. No, I'll just sit back, look at what I can do as an individual, the gift that I have, then I start building on it gradually. Then this is what has made me whom I am today.
Wow.
I'm very, very principled and objective.
Wow. How does your children takes this responsibility that you have beckoned on yourself to do and to help society? Because I see even where the school is located, the environment, it's serene, whereby it's causing certain attitudes to show up, not to show up, because diligence is all the time being played right outside the security and everything. At least I've been there to see what goes on there. Now, tell us, somebody's watching us, a parent, a mother, a man struggling out there to put his or her child in the right direction. Tell us that your school is so much rooted that somebody should take his or her child from a different school and bring him or her to your school. Somebody's not convinced.
Well, thank you. Looking at GRACELAND School, it was established about almost 25 years ago. It has grown gradually up to today that you're seeing a very serene atmosphere. Now, it didn't just grow like that, but it's by dint of hard work. We have the teachers there to do the work. They are well vexed in their subjects. I would say that's unblemished teachers.
Wow.
But periodically, we take them through courses
Okay.
to upgrade themselves. And we are such a school that we do encourage our teachers to always move higher, doing a lot of research work to come and meet the demands of the children at their level. As we know, we have children with different IQ levels.
Yeah.
We have children who are slow in developing. We are children that are very smart, but we try to blend their training and teaching to suit each and every child. Because at the end of it all these children are going to write the same exam. And we need to achieve a remarkable success. Now, the environment alone is very conducive.
Hold it right there for me. The environment there alone is so conducive that your children are safe. Don't go anywhere, get glued to yourself. We'll be right back.
Bafana kama sama mami Bafana di masama mami Bafana tuminyariwa Na mami sisi mwaye Diu sisi ya uya Bafana heba mischa Nunumbie Wana ya Bafana heba kapso Sasa brena maya ume Bafana heba mischa Bejimie Wuntini maya mire Mabosu wa bubu wa Abiye Duro mujata Bafana heba kapso Unum kapsos na unum mischa Bafana heba manu fuwa numyo Opin fuwa son num Bafana heba mischa Enu wachi ubiye tuminum Bafana heba kapso Na bubo biye Bafana heba mischa Bubo biye Ubenya bafana mischa Nene capsules o maimu babiye tonu pabia Kai se Adwe nye mamofra wani mfie dumienu Ema opin fuwa Ene oba tanya Oma ne banu fuwa Bafana Ujidi aje unkwa
Drop drink, challenge for try this. You pay noane, drop juice drink.
Today we go party, where my guests day. We go party, where my people day. We go party, me pay drop fruit juice na mano. Drop drinks, was super martini so. Drop drinks, me say unum swa when it beji. Drop drinks.
Peach, banana, orange, grape, aloe vera.
Today we go party, where my guests day. We go party, where my people day. We go party.
I've dropped the stress.
Drop drinks, it was super martina so. Drop drinks.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to the only show, the show that compels you to think out of the box to become a generational thinker. As a matter of fact, this new year, if you're not able to think outside the box, trust me, you won't go nowhere. But when you can think outside the box, then people will sought after your ideas, your wisdom, your skill, your perfection to enhance themselves and make life in Ghana a better place to live. We are still in a wonderful, sweet home of the one and only Mrs. Noble Stella and Dartey, the woman with few words but mighty actions behind the scenes. Mrs., like you were saying, the atmosphere looks conducive that somebody can be compelled to say, look, I'm getting my child out of this school and bringing him or her here. As a matter of fact, myself, I'm thinking of something, but I will talk that one behind closed doors to bring my kids over. The thing is, what do you think what do you think the school has that can compel somebody to say, look, I'm getting my child out of here. I'm bringing him to Graceland.
Thank you. I think that, first of all, we have to know the children that we have in the school. There's this saying that a child at play determines his potentials and capabilities. Now, we don't only do classroom activity, but we at times hold outdoor activities where the children outside go through their free play time. And through that and observation, we can pinpoint leadership roles. We can pinpoint children who are morally sound, emotionally good, physically strong, etc. So it can tell you right from the word go that this is a child that can be this in the near future to come.
You can foretell.
You can easily foretell.
Okay.
Because a child at play determines his or her potentials.
Wonderful.
So through that, we can build on the level of the child and help the child grow to achieve his or her aim, not only at the basic level, but after the basic education.
Well, there's a question that has been posed that I want to ask you before that. There are two major questions.
Okay.
For instance, somebody bring a mentally inept child and he's being already given up on by parents at home. And someone recommends Graceland, how would you handle that one?
Yes, we had a boy like that, a pupil like that. We had to manage this boy because anywhere the boy was taken to, he wasn't given what attention he deserves or he deserved. But then we had to pick him right from the preschool level. We were able to build up and gather him, bring him, conscientize him in a way, even not up to perfection. But this child was able, he wasn't able to talk.
Wow.
But he was able to start sighing and picking on words gradually. And periodically, I have to stand up on the GAS. They have a particular department that takes care and follow up on children like that. So they visit schools to find out whether we have children of that nature and periodically educate the school on how to handle such children. So like I said, we had one. We trained this child up to a particular level before we advised the parents to carry on to another, in order to help this child learn a trade. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So it means that when such situation arose, there are wonderful people that can abase it and make it work, that the child will be accepted in society.
Exactly.
Assuming a free education enter into your lower and upper primary, how would you take it?
Well, is it at the government level?
On a government
or
level.
At the private school level?
On a government level.
On the government
to
level.
enter into your domain, because I think as structures are being put in place, education becomes one of the keys for every government to embark on. And now the government want to liaise along with some of the private schools who understands the core value for education to also allow certain things to make education easier for people. But here's the case, maybe the owners of the school will not earn that much, but something little, or will even take from them. How will you take it? Would you embrace it? Would you smile at it? Or
I wouldn't say that I'm going to frown at it and smile at the same time at it.
So what would you do?
Now, what I am going to say, I would ask a few questions. One, is the government going to subsidize running of such education in the system? What are the benefits of it to the private schools? So there are a series of questions that I would have to ask before
you jump into it.
Yes, I can jump into it. Because it's not easy for private schools to run their schools now, looking at the situations we find ourselves. So when it comes like this, one, to somebody, it will be a blessing, but to others, it will be very, very difficult. Many schools are running on charity, especially when it comes to running the preschool departments, because it's something that majority cannot afford. But then they have to minimize the cost in such a way that all children can benefit from education. Me, like I said earlier, I want the children to be well trained, because in the near future to come, they are the very people who will take care of us.
Of course, yes.
So if we do not train them very well and we frown at them,
there are dangers awaiting.
There are dangers awaiting us. So let us see how best we can manage the situations on the ground and give the best training to every Ghanaian child.
Wow, awesome.
Yes.
If I'm to believe this, Accra Academy happened to be a boys' school. But it seems I've seen a lot of wonderful, how do you call it?
Clerks, certificates.
Certificates,
Right.
and a whole lot of stuff in here.
Yes.
What are they? Are they part of your achievements or something that was just given to you because of you being nice in society?
Not
Can you
at
tell us
all.
about your achievement?
Yeah, it's based on my achievements in the society. I think I have done a lot of good works in Ghana.
Wow.
Right from when I started teaching as a pupil teacher,
Wow.
running through to teach at the government school level.
Wow.
And I would say that I've assisted a lot of individual children to the extent that I've managed a lot of truant, but brilliant students.
Wow.
At times I had the opportunity to go and wait on them in their respective homes.
Wow.
Make sure that they shower, they dress up, I pick them in my vehicle and bring them to school.
To school.
Exactly.
So how many headmistresses would do this? Now, before you continue, I've seen something here. It said, we learn, not for schools, that this is an award you had from Accra Academy. You didn't go to Accra Academy. So
No.
why this?
Accra Academy happens to be a boys' school.
Uh-huh.
I have never been there till
Uh-huh.
I have never been there till I took my last son to that school.
Okay.
So when I got there, I had the love for Accra Academy.
Is it
And-
because of the way the school is built or what goes on in there?
Well, when I see the discipline during their headmaster's era of Fourier J,
Wow.
I really appreciated the effort that the head put in bringing the children up.
Kudos to you, Mr. Furieji, wherever you are. We say Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And since then, I developed an interest for the school. So I had the opportunity to at least give my widow's mind to support
Wow.
certain aspects of the
Wow.
school.
Wow.
I did it on my own.
Wow.
And I have been doing it consistently. And it was even mentioned almost every time that they had their anniversaries that there's an outstanding parent who has consistently been supporting the school in diverse ways, to the extent of at times supporting with their sanitary supplies, disinfectants, etc. I'm not bragging on this here, because I did it out of free will.
Wow.
That I did not even need to mention it.
But it's very
Coupled with-
necessary. It's very necessary because a lot of people do things behind the scenes and it goes very sour on their side because people probably may think that, oh, she's got so much and want to lavish it on people and show off. But this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. You're helping Ghana to become a better place worth living. So you have every audacity to talk about it.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
we're listening.
I had an opportunity also during one of their anniversaries. I painted their science laboratory for them,
Wow.
the whole science laboratory.
Wow.
I had the opportunity to also paint that. And consistently, anytime they're about to have any program there and I have that wheel, I just go there, ask the headmaster
What you can do
what I can do to support them in my own little way.
This indeed tells me you are an educationalist, a person who's more versatile when it comes to education. A lot of people don't have these, but you do. For instance, somebody's out there, he or she is touched by what you're doing. Quickly, let me chip in this. Your fees, are they moderate?
Very moderate.
Wow.
Very, very moderate.
Wow.
We do a very good work there. And I'm proud to even say that we have some of our students going to Wesley Girls High School, Eburi Girls, Infantsiman, Infantsipemo Pokowari,
Wow.
Presec, and many, many more.
Mrs., you've said all that you have to, and I'm actually quite impressed and really, really surprised how far you can go, because at your level with your status, it takes people with diligent spirit and discerning spirit to go beyond the normal. So what will be your final wish for the people who are going to write up the examination and the people who want to bounce in this 2019 to come out with the flying colors?
Well, I would say that Graceland is blessed and it's been recognized across board. For that matter, we had the opportunity to have the school as a center for writing the BEC. We availed our premises for the government to take its course. And we provided available amenities to have every examination go on very, very well and in a very serene atmosphere. Now, I would like also to say that in terms of preparing our children for the BEC examination, we are ready up to our game. Teachers are really working assiduously. They are identifying children who are a bit slow to make up, running extra tuition for them, at times for free. We are also organizing group activities for them, and we are extending the teaching lineup in order to welcome their intention and everything to be well focused in the subjects that they are doing. Yes.
Wow. Your final words to the people out there looking up to you as your mentor, mother, an entrepreneur, business. I call you a business tycoon because you're versatile in every corner and you brighten your corner wherever you find yourself. Because if a home is well organized, the first thing you see in that home is peace. When we walk into your wonderful home, we sense peace. And it means that indeed you are not out there just helping or also making turns, but also impacting life. Somebody's looking at you. Somebody's watching you. What is your final word of motivation to that person who wants to become like you?
Thank you so much. People out there watching me now, first of all, I would like you to seek first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added up unto you. Many of us are too much into looking for money and forgetting about your gift and the talents that you have in you. I always advise people to have a quiet time to themselves, to brainstorm and find out what they can come up with in diverse ways. Never jump out into what others are doing and derail from your track. The love of God is with you, and you have that blessing already. Never let this blessing go away without exhibiting what you can do to glorify God. I am encouraging each and every one of you out there to do what you can do and do it properly, and make sure that you will achieve your aims and objectives in life. Mind you, if nobody is watching you, God is looking at you and watching you. So remain focused. The word is focus. Remain focused and be focused, and it shall come to pass in everything that you intend doing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mrs. Noble Stella N.A. Dartey. I just love the name. All right, Mrs. Over the years, you've worked with wonderful people in the school, outside the school, in your private business, entrepreneur programs and all of that. What wishes would you like to wish your wonderful people, your team that you work with? Could they, maybe somebody will say, I haven't heard anything from her. She has not wished me a Happy New Year, a Merry Christmas. Anything for them?
Well, I would like to wish my entire staff a Happy New Year.
Wow.
A very prosperous one indeed. And all parents of Graceland International School. I have a school anthem that I composed myself.
Wow.
Yes. And it's a spirit-filled anthem.
Wow.
Which blesses both parents and the students at large, within and outside Graceland. Let me just give you the anthem.
Yeah, the anthem, just a phrase.
Yes. It goes like this. When we lift our eyes so high, let the power of God descend to Graceland School, of course. We are great to be ourselves. May the grace of God be part of us, and we'll praise His name above.
Wow. Wow.
This is an anthem composed by Mrs. Stella Noble.
Dartey. Wonderful. All too soon, this is where we draw the curtain for the only and one and only show, the Personality Profile. See, I told you, you don't get this anywhere. But at only Super Duper KFM TV, we give you nothing but the best of entertainment. But before I rush out, there's a woman who has been doing well for a lot of people. And as a matter of fact, for Personality Profile. And she always wants to stay behind the scene. And today, I want to wish her a Happy New Year. And she goes by the name Mrs. Asumene. And she has a cake base called the cake base. And she deals with cakes and all of that. And as a matter of fact, she eventually called friends from all over America, Europe, and other places to watch Personality Profile. I wanted to say a big thank you, a big thank you, a big thank you, a big thank you to my only producer, Pastor Richard, and my main man, I call him Chairman, Edinkra. This has been a wonderful production from our only GM, Mr. Godwin. We say Happy New Year to our CEO, to our mother, and everybody. We're saying God richly bless you. But before then, Cake Base says that if you're looking for a cake to eat, don't buy the roadside one, okay? Don't buy the roadside one. And you get to me. Spoon's Restaurant is also just around the corner. Some of you think Spoon's Restaurant is dead. No, it's still alive, breathing like a wonderful flower blossoming. So don't just eat some at some corners and just, no. It's a home away from home. When your wife says no, don't fight her. Tell her, look, follow me. I'm gonna take you to a place where you have the best of food. When she get back home, trust me, all the fights will be ending up in a lovely home. I say this. It's a new year. It's a new year. Don't entertain what will detain you, but rather entertain what will maintain you for the future. Because when you entertain what will detain you, your life will be detained forever. Stay blessed. It is not over. It's a new year. Open up, broaden the horizon. God is about to do something new. We love you, and a big Happy New Year from KFM TV. Have a wonderful new year. Bye for now.